Cowlitz County Public Utility District, better known as Cowlitz PUD, is one of 28 public utility districts in the state of Washington. PUDs are not-for-profit, community-owned utilities. PUDs are authorized to provide electric, water, sewer, and wholesale telecommunications services that have the authority to produce and distribute renewable natural gas and renewable hydrogen. Cowlitz PUD provides electric service only. The birthplace of public power in Washington occurred in 1930 when voters established the right to form public utility districts by passing Initiative Number 1. The Washington State Grange, a populist agriculture organization, led the grassroots effort under the principles of conserving the state's water and power resources and providing for local control of water and electric utilities service. Cowlitz PUD was formed shortly thereafter in 1936. PUDs are governed by locally elected commissioners that live in the communities they serve. Cowlitz PUD's commission is made up of 3 board members who each serve one of 3 designated districts in Cowlitz County. As Washingtonians, we are privileged to receive about 80% of our electricity from hydropower, which is reliable, renewable, and produces almost 0 greenhouse gas emissions. Cowlitz PUD serves its customers through a portfolio of clean, affordable electricity, and depending on annual rainfall, typically more than 90% is generated without carbon emissions. The Bonneville Power Administration, commonly known as BPA, supplies approximately 85% of the PUD's needs through a long-term wholesale power agreement. As a public preference customer, Cowlitz PUD is entitled to a portion of the Federal Columbia River Power System's hydroelectric production at cost-based rates. Due to its large industrial customer base, the PUD is currently the 3rd largest out of over 140 BPA customers in the Pacific Northwest. Bonneville markets power from 31 federally operated dams, the Columbia Generating Station nuclear plant, wind farms, and various other resources that ensure an adequate and reliable supply for its customers. Approximately 81% of BPA's electricity comes from hydropower. A little closer to home, the PUD owns the Swift No. 2 hydroelectric project on the North Fork of the Lewis River in southeast Cowlitz County. The 73-megawatt capacity project, constructed in 1956, is operated by PacifiCorp in coordination with its 3 other licensed projects on the Lewis River: Merwin, Yale, and Swift No. 1. Water released from Swift No. 1 flows west down a 3-mile canal and enters a concrete intake with 2 penstocks for a 120-foot drop into the powerhouse, which spins turbines that are connected to 2 36-megawatt generators. The electricity produced through this process is delivered to the transmission grid by way of the adjacent substation to serve customer load. The Swift project provides peak generation to support the electric system during the high-demand winter months and gives the PUD opportunities to sell surplus power into the market when prices are high to generate extra revenue that keeps customers' rates affordable. The federal operating licenses governing the Lewis River hydroelectric projects require a variety of investments in fish passage facilities and habitat restoration. With an overarching goal to reestablish migratory fish runs, Cowlitz PUD, by way of its ownership of Swift No. 2, funds these efforts through a cost-sharing agreement with PacifiCorp. The Swift downstream floating surface collector, located on the uppermost reservoir of the Lewis River project, collects juvenile salmon and steelhead, which are then hauled downstream and released in ponds where the young fish complete their migration to the ocean. The floating surface collector has 4 main parts: the fish collection barge, a guide and barrier net system, a mooring tower which anchors the collector, and an access trestle which connects the collector to the dam. Juvenile fish, the offspring of salmon and steelhead that spawned upstream, approach the floating surface collector on their way downstream through the Swift Reservoir. The collector attracts the fish in conjunction with the net system into the collection barge. The fish are collected and sorted, then transported via specially designed trucks around the dams and released downstream of the Merwin project to continue their journey to sea. At Merwin, adult fish return to the upper Lewis River with the aid of an upstream collection and transport facility. Adults are attracted to the intake facility by a pumped attraction flow and follow the current up a short fish ladder that ends in a hoist basket, which delivers them to a holding tank and sorting facility. The fish are then sorted based on their species and origin, hatchery or wild, then are loaded onto trucks and transported to the hatchery or upstream of the dams to be released and allowed to spawn naturally in the streambeds of the Lewis River and its tributaries. In 2006, Washington state voters passed Initiative 937, the Energy Independence Act, which required utilities to use non-hydroelectric renewable energy sources, such as wind and solar power, to meet an increasing portion of customer load between 2012 and 2020. While Cowlitz PUD traditionally deployed a clean power portfolio nearly 90% free of greenhouse gas emissions, the PUD partnered with other public utilities to acquire eligible renewable resources that would ensure compliance with the new law. The PUD's renewable resource requirements are largely met through the energy received from 3 wind projects: White Creek and Harvest Wind, located in Klickitat County, and the Nine Canyon Wind Project in Benton County. White Creek is a 205 megawatt capacity wind farm constructed in 2007 and comprised of 89 wind turbines spread across nearly 10,000 acres near the Columbia River Gorge. Cowlitz PUD was an original partner in White Creek's development and receives 46% of the power generated by the project. The 99 megawatt Harvest Wind Project, commissioned in 2009, consists of 43 turbines across 9,500 acres and flanks the White Creek project to the east and the west. Harvest is owned by 4 consumer-owned utilities: Cowlitz PUD, Peninsula Light, Lakeview Light and Power, and the Eugene, Oregon Water and Electric Board. The PUD has a 30% ownership stake in the project. Both projects are serviced and maintained by Siemens, the equipment manufacturer, and site operations are provided by North American Energy Services. The portion of White Creek's and Harvest Wind's projected annual output received by Cowlitz PUD provides enough electricity to meet nearly 1/2 of its renewable energy requirements in 2020. Cowlitz PUD also contracts with Energy Northwest for a 2 megawatt share of the Nine Canyon Wind Project. Working together with other public utilities, the PUD is committed to developing and maintaining a diverse supply of renewable energy resources in Washington state and reducing reliance on fossil fuel-based generation. What's ahead for Cowlitz PUD? Laws passed in Olympia in 2019 have set utilities on a path to meet 100% of the state's electric load with carbon-free resources by 2045. Achieving this goal will require a tremendous amount of planning and coordination among utilities and power suppliers alike to ensure the availability of electricity necessary to support the needs of an increasing population and growing economy. In Cowlitz County, the family wage jobs that support its economic base depend on an affordable and reliable supply of public power. As discussions continue on how best to remove fossil fuel generation from the grid, the PUD will continue to engage state leaders and advocate for a balanced approach to implementing the new clean energy standards. The PUD's current resource portfolio meets its customers' power needs with an affordable supply of clean energy that is already over 90% compliant with the state's environmental policy goals. Cowlitz PUD is proud of its clean energy legacy and over 80 years of service to Cowlitz County residents. Working with its partners in public power, Cowlitz PUD will rise to meet any new challenge to serve the needs of its customers. Cowlitz PUD, your power.